What is the real cost of living in London? We're here to find out. What do you both do and how much do you both earn?
So I am a marketing strategist, and I earn 42k.
And you are?
Sponsorship exec, 40k.
And how are you guys dealing with the cost of living in London?
I'm not dealing with it too well. I rob from shops. I skip the tube. I'm starving all of the time.
Who do you think's been most affected by this then?
Like normal people, like people that work jobs in pubs and stuff. Minimum wage workers, that their wages aren't necessarily going to go up relative to energy and rents and inflation. You have to have empathy for them. Like, it is tough, but I guess you just have to get through it and hope that it gets better.
What advice do you have for anyone that's kind of struggling with the cost of living right now? Any tips?
Shop in Aldi.
Shop in Aldi, yeah. Stop going on dates.
Yeah, going on dates.
That is a big one. That is a big one.
Yeah. Don't buy Tinder, Hinge.
Just use the self-service checkout, but don't really scan it, you know what I mean?
I thought I'd come on here to have a bit of a rant. I feel like crap today, so crap, because the UK is just so bloody expensive. Like, is anyone else noticing how expensive the UK is getting? Food is constantly expensive. We pay our taxes and they're constant. Like, I'm self-employed and I've just been on the phone to the tax office, and sometimes I feel like, what's the point in even working these days to just get by? It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I just feel like electricity, water, gas, luckily we're just electric, but still that's really expensive. Council tax. This country is too expensive. Too expensive.
Yo, London, when will it stop? When will it stop? It is fucking expensive. London is so expensive, I had to go into my savings to go to work. What the fuck is that? Man, I'm saving up to go to work. London, I don't know what type of limited edition Oliver Twist lifestyle you're selling to us, but we can't hack it. It's too much. London is so expensive that even nights in, if you stay at home, still costs you money. The other day I stayed in with my missus. I thought, yeah, let's have something to eat. Let's order Chinese. 50 note. 50 fucking notes. What the hell is that? Whoa. Are you shipping it from China? What the hell are you doing? That Chinese was so expensive, I told her to put her clothes on that we're going out. Sometimes I get annoyed when I hear people say they want to move to London because there's more opportunity. The only opportunity you'll get here is to be broke. If you are looking for the opportunity to be broke, move to London. Come to London. For breakfast, they'll break you so fast, you'll be broken. That's how broke you'll be. The other day I was thirsty, man. I was in King's Cross. Bearing in mind, I was in King's Cross. I quickly dashed into WH Smith to get myself a drink. I tapped my card, I left. I checked the Monzo, £3.95 for the Lucozade, blood. For a Lucozade. A small Lucozade. A small Lucozade. That Lucozade better be made with fresh glucose. Fresh fucking glucose, blood. Are you stupid? What kind of Jay-Z Lucozade are you selling me? Elon Musk Lucozade, blood? I just want to quench my thirst, blood. Man, I'm out here just selling billionaire replenishments. I can't do this, bro. I feel sorry for those who don't have a job. What have you got to do? Buy a job. It's so expensive, bruv. At this point, I can imagine London already charging you for working. Oh, wait. That's tax. Hey, you see already? London, I can't take it. London, man. London, open your yash, spray your yash, tear your yash, all day, just tearing people's yash, man. Fuck's sake, London, blood. It's wild, blood. It's if you won't make it, yeah, you won't make it. You never make it, fam. Fucking hell, act.
The UK just is not a dream country for us to live in anymore. You know, the weather is absolutely depressing. It brings down our moods. We're either workaholics who rarely have any free time, or we're tired and broke. You know, we are absolutely taxed on everything. Inflation is continually peaking, and, you know, most people can barely afford to live or pay their bills. The younger generation are going to find it so hard to get on the property ladder. I actually read a recent article about how a third of young people will never be able to afford to buy a home. You know, they're never going to be able to get onto that property ladder. How sad is that? And, you know, crime is at its absolute peak. There is drugs everywhere. And I want my daughter to feel safe where she's living. And generally, the quality of life is just getting worse. You know, 20 years ago, there were no waiting lists for anything. The quality of life has completely deteriorated. Oh, why else would you want to live in the UK? And these are just a few of the reasons why we want to move out of the UK as a family.
If you have a problem with vulnerable people claiming benefits, then this video is for you. Before anyone asks for proof of these figures, this is all public information which absolutely anyone can access. In the UK, there are around 650 members of parliament with an average annual salary of 86k. But their wage apparently isn't enough for them, as members of parliament gave themselves generous £17.1 million in bonuses, meaning that overall, just their wages and bonuses cost you, the taxpayer, £73.8 million. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. We pay around 805k each year for former members of parliament to enjoy their retirement after standing in office. But what's so much worse is we pay over £17 million per year for their food, while 80% of the country's starved taxpayers pay for any travel, accommodation, and food expenses. But what is so evil is that many of us struggle to rent or buy our own house. So why do us taxpayers have to fund not only their first home, but their second too? Along with all utility bills, council tax service charges, landlines, broadband, any installation fees and usage fees. Members of parliament have convinced you that those who are vulnerable, in need, or don't have money to live are the ones who are the problem. For years, they have created division in order to evade accountability for the severe wrongdoings they commit. Wake up, people. Enough is enough.
Guys, honestly, I'm done with adulthood. I'm actually done with adulthood. Earlier today, I paid my rent, which is 1.2k. Okay? That already hurt my heart. Now, I was coming back into my house a bit ago, and I was like, you know what, let me check my letterbox, because you know what, it was my birthday recently, and you know what, I was being delusional for a second, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll have a birthday card in there. Apparently, we don't do that anymore in this generation, you know, a text is all we get. But then I picked up some of my letters. I have another bill. The water bill is £168. Great. I thought, okay, you know, I can take that. Now, tell me why the electricity bill, or I think this is the electricity and gas. Guys, honestly, I don't even know how it works. Who let me live by myself? £1,843.22. How? I am one person living by myself. Half the time, I'm not even home. But I don't understand, because here they've broken down my electricity usage and it's £229. Now, I don't know if the rest of it is meant to be the gas, but I'm gonna call them tomorrow, because the water bill, I can accept that. Like, okay, that sounds realistic. For 6 months, that's not even bad. This one, honestly, scrap everything I said about being independent. I'm done. I don't want to be independent. Do you know what? You want 6 meals a day? I'll give it to you. I'm tired. What is this? How am I supposed to afford to breathe?
If you are the average British person and you choose to stay in this country for the next 2 years, here's what's most likely going to happen. Your standard of living is not going to improve, your taxes may well go up, and you will continue to feel a squeeze to your finances. So here's a graph outlining this that was released after the budget today. To explain what this graph here means to you, it means that between the last general election and the one that's about to happen, you, the average British person, have witnessed the greatest drop in living standards since records began, since the 1950s. And this is the problem. People in this country don't realise how much better our standard of living could and should be. And highlighting this is not an anti-British statement. It's highlighting how this country has gone down the toilet and is going to stay in the toilet for a good few years, all thanks to these arseholes. And Labour are not going to be in a position where they can do a great deal about it. Our economic growth is predicted to grow slower than expected. Inflation is set to remain stubborn. And the tax burden is still set to remain very high, so Labour will most likely increase taxes. The tax cuts announced today are a classic trap for the next government, and they're also not going to improve the average person's life. In real terms, we are still going to remain a country where the average person is feeling the squeeze. So I would still advise that you move somewhere else, because there are numerous countries that either have a higher standard of living or a better quality of life. And people will always say that whatever country you move to has got its own problems and that's why you shouldn't move there. Don't fall for this self-defeating, limiting belief. The grass is always greener argument is a generic and lazy argument normally made by people who don't have the bollocks to move abroad themselves. So they would rather try and prevent you from doing it and drag you down. Or they'd rather remain here living in ignorance, thinking that everything is okay without realising how much our standard of living has dropped compared to other comparable economies. Let those people remain ignorant and start looking on TikTok and YouTube at the amount of Brits who have moved abroad and are now raving about how much better their life is. There are always valid reasons why some people can't do it, but for the average person, you can. Don't let your mind be the obstacle in the way of you improving your life.
Over half the adults in the UK have less than £500 saved. This isn't just a personal problem, it's a national crisis. People are one paycheck away from being financially ruined. Rising costs, wages just flatlining or going up just a little bit but not in line with the cost of living. Zero financial education in schools or colleges. They've set the system up where it's basically very likely you're going to be in this scenario unless you should do something yourself about the situation. Think about it, if your car breaks or the boiler goes down, basically we're screwed, and nobody's teaching this. Nobody in schools anyways. The government aren't doing anything, they're not coming to save us. So basically it doesn't matter if you save £20 a month, £100 a month, just saving something in a separate account that isn't activated is going to grow for the rest of your life. Listen, I'm speaking from experience. I'm in a scenario now where I've got to take months and months off work. If I didn't have any money saved lying about in a bank account, which I've worked for, I've worked 80 hours, 100 hours a week before, I've worked to build up this emergency fund, and right now I'm going to be off work for months. So that's where that fund comes into place. If under £500 saved, I'd be absolutely screwed. I'd be selling my house. And it's definitely not too late to take control today and sort your future out with savings. If you've got no money to save whatsoever, look at getting a second job. Look at doing overtime at work until you get additional money set aside in a bank account, no matter how long it takes, especially if you're self-employed like me.
I just don't want to do this anymore. It's so cold in here, as you can see. I'm wrapped up in a duvet. My son's got like 3 different layers on, just to try and stay warm because it's so cold in here.
Watching that woman's video broke my heart this morning. She said she had to choose between gas and electric. And she ended up choosing electric because she needed to cook for her children to eat. And that the gas, she couldn't afford it. So she was literally freezing and shaking in that video, as you can see. And people are going through a lot in the UK right now. It's not even a joke. It is not a joke. Especially when you live in these old houses that were built ages ago. The insulation is bad. I remember when I moved to the UK, I lived in such a house. So renting a proper house was difficult. And Ariella was one, and my son, I was pregnant with my son then. I would hold Ariella shivering like this in front of the heater. The heater is on, but we are still shivering. It's not, the cold was too much. It's not like these houses where we live now, like where I live now. These are one of the newer homes that have been built, well insulated. I use only electric in my house. And when I put on my electric heater, 1 hour, it can last me even the whole night. I don't sleep with heating. My kids sleep with heating. The other day, I loaded £100 on my electric meter. And I had cooked that night. I did washing. And then I left my children's heater till morning. By morning, the money had dropped to £60. I was like, £40 in a day. How are people managing? If you live in Africa, now is the time to help your family that is abroad. If you change 90,000 naira or whatever it is, cedis or rand, and you send them £100 for them to use for their electric or gas bills, they will bless you and thank you. If you live in Africa, and you are used to your family members sending you money and they cannot send for you this period, have some compassion. Now is the wrongest time to ask anybody that lives abroad for money. If you do it, you're a murderer. People are going through hell.
The proper thing about this, right? The UK government want us to stay poor. The system is rigged against us. About it, the cost of living, rising prices, wages stagnating, don't even get us started on the tax system. We work harder than ever and our pay packet doesn't seem to go further. I strongly believe we're in a working poverty right now. People work just to pay the bills, and some people can't even pay the bills when they're working full time. They're happy to give us loans, but no solutions. Interest rates, bills, taxes. The full system is designed to keep us in the system. It's not designed for us to live freely. It's a designed system right now that where the middle class is getting squeezed out. If we don't push and learn our own financial education, nobody's going to teach us. The government aren't going to teach us. They're creating workers. School is just created for work. What can we do about this? Break the cycle. Start learning about where your money is going to. I know it sounds basic, but if you're going and spending money at Greggs, Costco, anything like that, look at how many times you're spending in places like that. Look at your bills, look at your direct debits. Because the truth is, the government isn't going to save us. They're not going to give us handouts. They're making it as hard as possible. Let's try and get out the system, but it all starts with getting 3 months living expenses in your bank, doing nothing. Take control and break free from the system.
It's my birthday in about 3 hours. And I'm debating whether I can afford to put my heating on in the UK. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional now. It's 13.5 degrees in my front room. And all I can afford and all I've been living on for the last few months is a fan heater. There's something wrong, isn't there? There's something wrong. Somebody please tell me. Somebody who has worked all their life, never had any benefit or anything, and I'm debating whether I can put my heating on my birthday. It's no wonder people are leaving this country. Do you know, I don't know if I'm laughing at myself or if I'm just exasperated with this country. I just saw a statistic about a millionaire leaves the UK every 45 minutes. Now, I'm not a millionaire by any means, but I worked in the city for years, bought property and saved up and put money in a personal pension and all that. And then I fell really ill and I didn't qualify for anything from the state to help me because I'd got savings, because I'd been doing that. I'd been better off not working in the city and not earning anything, because if I was poor and didn't have any assets, then I could have lived on the state for the last 5 years, which would have equated to more than £100,000. But because I worked when I was young, I'm now 30 grand in debt. Does it make sense? Well, look, I'm sitting here absolutely freezing. I'm not kidding. My hands are so cold. I'm dictating everything anyway because I can't hear. I've got a hoodie on and I've got 3 layers underneath. I've got 2 pairs of socks on. I've even got a blanket on my knees, you know. That's how cold I am. And I'm sitting here debating whether I can afford to put the heating on. It's my birthday in about 3 hours. And I'm debating whether I can afford to put my heating on in the UK. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional now. It's 13.5 degrees in my front room. And all I can afford and all I've been living on for the last few months is a fan heater. There's something wrong, isn't there? There's something wrong. Somebody please tell me. Somebody who has worked all their life, never had any benefit or anything, and I'm debating whether I can put my heating on my birthday. I can't even watch that video back. I feel like I've done something so wrong. What have I done wrong that I can't afford to put heating on in the UK, in this country, when I've worked every single day since I came out of university? I've worked in the city. I earned a lot of money. I supported my father and my brother completely when they had hard times. And now I can't afford to put my heating on. I didn't get 1 penny of COVID pay. I haven't had 1 penny of unemployment pay or benefit or anything. I had to go to the courts to get some PIP benefit. And I can't afford to put my heating on my birthday. I'm not sure whether I'll have the guts to share this, but I looked up the proper temperature and the Daily Mail said 19.5. The NHS says 18 degrees and says that you get problems with blood pressure and health problems below that. I've never been close to 18 degrees for the last 4 months in my house.
Is anyone else fucking absolutely fucking depressed living in this country? Honestly, the fucking food prices are absolutely ridiculous. House prices are ridiculous. You get taxed on fucking everything. Like, I just wish I could sell up and just fuck. Do you know, if I didn't have kids? If I didn't have kids, man, I'd be out of here, I'd be gone. I just don't see any benefits from living in the UK. Like, what benefits do we actually fucking have? Like, we are literally surviving, aren't we? Most people in the UK are earning what? Just under 40k a year, if they're on an alright wage. 40k a year gets you fuck all now. 40k a year would have got you fucking loads of stuff. Now it gets you literally in survival mode. It fucking pisses me off, man. I'm sick of this fucking shithole. I'm sick of the fucking weather. I'm sick of the fucking government bumming us every fucking time every chance they get. I'm sick of being lied to constantly by the fucking government. I'm fucking sick of it. Honestly, like, we're lucky if we get a 2-week fucking holiday abroad these days. Even then you gotta fucking save up for it. Like, when can we start fucking living, not fucking surviving? You know? Fuck this country, man.